The early 20th century ignited a fervor for exploration that consumed nations. In an age defined by ambition, countries raced to claim the Antarctic frontier. Each expedition became a matter of national pride. As the icebergs bobbed in the frigid waters, explorers wielded their maps and dreams with equal fervor. Ernest Shackleton set the stage for adventure. His imperial trans-Antarctic expedition of 1914 aimed to traverse the continent. Shackleton's tenacity earned him reverence, yet his fate would encapsulate the dual nature of exploration, both aspiration and disaster. Meanwhile, Robert Falcon Scott pursued glory, determined to plant the British flag on the South Pole. His polar expedition in 1911 turned into a haunting saga of heroism and tragedy. The world watched with bated breath as the race unfolded, but Scott's ambition would ultimately claim his life and the lives of his men, echoing the chilling reality of nature's dominance. Yet, beyond these iconic names lay a tapestry of lesser-known expeditions, nestled within the pages of history. The Swedish Antarctic Expedition of 1901 sought to unravel the continent's mysteries, driven by a mix of scientific curiosity and national motivation. Led by Otto Nordenskjöld, this team pioneered research into the region's geology and biology, setting new standards in polar science. While they were less famous, their contributions proved invaluable. Technological advancements played a crucial role in these adventures. The era birthed sturdy ships built for polar navigation. The aptly named Nansen and the Endurance harnessed wind power and sturdy design, granting access to inhospitable realms. Fueled by steam and iron, these vessels cut through ice and salt, carving paths where none existed before. Adventurers were swathed in revolutionary gear. Woolen uniforms, goggles, and down-filled jackets became essential against the unrelenting cold. They carried sledges equipped with the latest supplies, from pemmican to scientific instruments. The innovations of the time made long, treacherous journeys bearable, even though the threats of frostbite and scurvy loomed at every turn. Still, the battleground for exploration was not just about survival. It was a test of human spirit versus nature's fury. Motives for these daring ventures were complex. Nationalism pumped through the veins of these explorers like the very blood in their bodies. Nations wielded exploration as a political tool, asserting dominance over vast, untouched landscapes. Beyond national pride, the thirst for scientific discovery stoked the fire within many hearts. The Antarctic offered secrets, new species, unprecedented geological formations, unique climatic phenomena. Yet lurking behind these motivations was a darker undertone: commercial interests. Resources like whale oil and potential mineral wealth lay beneath the icy surface, whispering promises of fortune. Whether driven by glory or greed, these men stood on the precipice, entangled in a web spun by ambition and the seduction of uncharted territories. With the cream of humanity's ambition set against the harsh backdrop of a frozen wasteland, the stakes rose with each expedition. Men pushed their limits. They stared into the abyss of the unknown, where the Antarctic was not merely a realm to conquer, but a relentless opponent responding with a brutal hand. But just as the dreams of conquest ignited fervor, reality bore its icy teeth. As the dreaded winter approached, what would become of those who ventured forth into the unforgiving world of ice? Would they find glory or face the wrath of the frozen continent? The answers lie in the frozen depths, waiting to be uncovered. In the icy vastness of Antarctica, the Swedish Antarctic Expedition of 1901 to 1903 embarked on a mission that would test human resolve against the forces of nature. Led by the visionary Otto Nordenskjöld, this ambitious group aimed to chart the Antarctic coastline and conduct groundbreaking scientific research. It was a race not just against uncharted waters, but against the very elements that would soon betray them. The expedition set sail aboard the ship Antarctic, equipped with the latest technology of the time. Their objectives were grand: to explore the terra incognita that lay hidden beneath the frozen wasteland, and to contribute vital data across geology, biology, and meteorology. They envisioned a pathway to discovery, new species, fresh geographic insights, and perhaps national glory in a fiercely competitive age of exploration. Yet the reality of the expedition proved to be far harsher than anticipated. In 1902, while mapping the eastern coastline of the Antarctic Peninsula, disaster struck. The Antarctic became trapped in ice off the coast of what is now known as Graham Land. With no escape route, the crew faced imminent isolation. The ship was immobilized, transforming from their vessel of hope into a looming prison of ice. As weeks turned into months, resources dwindled. The team of scientists and sailors faced punishing conditions, freezing temperatures, scarce food, and the gnawing fear of failure. In one severe storm, the structure of the Antarctic itself buckled under the relentless assault of nature. Ice encased the ship, isolating them further from the world. Such was the brutality of Antarctica. It offered no shelter, no forgiveness. But amidst extreme hardship, humanity shone. Teamwork became their lifeline. Nordenskjöld's leadership galvanized his crew, urging them to adapt and innovate. They built makeshift shelters from the remnants of their ship, turned to hunting seals for sustenance, and flourished in the resilience that adversity kindled. This camaraderie sparked a deeper spirit of survival, the unyielding human desire to conquer fear and uncertainty. The expedition also bore unexpected discoveries. Scientists meticulously collected data despite their dire circumstances. They identified new species and documented geological formations previously unknown to mankind. Each finding redefined their understanding of the polar environment. The data, gathered against a backdrop of struggle, became crucial for future explorations, shaping how the world viewed the frozen continent. Yet, triumph came at a price. After 2 years of relentless pursuit, the remaining crew, now dwindled in numbers, found themselves with an impossible choice. Would they abandon their ship and trek across a hostile landscape in search of rescue? Each decision weighed heavily. The spectre of death loomed in the form of frostbite and starvation. As they prepared to leave the Antarctic, a monumental question echoed through the ice-laden winds. Had they triumphed over nature, or had they merely awakened its wrath? The expedition returned to Sweden, but not without scars, both seen and unseen. The longing for glory was intricately woven with the cost of ambition, a lesson in humility that would haunt future explorers. What awaited them upon their return? And how would their harrowing journey influence the next wave of exploration into the heart of the Antarctic wilderness? The answers lie just beyond the horizon. In the early 20th century, the icy expanse of Antarctica became the ultimate stage for two titans of exploration, Robert Falcon Scott and Ernest Shackleton. Both men were driven by a relentless ambition to conquer the untouched wilderness, the promise of national pride fueling their quests. Scott's first major venture came in 1901 with the Discovery Expedition. Aiming to define the Antarctic coastline and advance scientific understanding, Scott and his crew braved the frigid elements. They endured harsh winters, suffering from frostbite and near starvation. Yet they emerged not just alive, but with invaluable findings: geological samples, meteorological data, and observations of wildlife. Their work laid essential groundwork for future exploration, but it also ignited a dangerous ambition within Scott himself. Fast forward to his second expedition, the Terra Nova expedition from 1910 to 1913. This time, Scott set his sights squarely on the South Pole. He envisioned glory and fame, seeking to be the first to plant the British flag at the pole. The competition with Roald Amundsen loomed large, adding pressure. Driven by the desire to outpace the famous Norwegian explorer, Scott pushed his men to their limits. They pressed on into the heart of the Antarctic summer, driven by a singular mission that bordered on obsession. But ambition comes at a cost. As Scott and his team trudged through blizzards and unyielding ice, supplies dwindled. Sickness weakened his men, and morale plummeted. By the time they reached the South Pole in January 1912, the crushing reality hit. Amundsen had beaten them by over a month. The dream of glory had turned tragic. The return journey became a desperate struggle for survival against the unforgiving Antarctic conditions. Scott and his remaining men succumbed to starvation and exposure, leaving behind a legacy steeped in both heroism and sorrow. In stark contrast stood Ernest Shackleton. His Imperial Transantarctic Expedition, 1914 to 1917, aimed for the first complete crossing of Antarctica, a bold undertaking that seemed daring, yet perilous. Shackleton rallied a diverse crew, sharing a dream that promised to redefine the limits of human exploration. Yet as fate would have it, their ship, Endurance, became trapped in ice just days into their journey, forcing them to confront an unimaginable crisis. While Scott's model leaned heavily on rigid discipline, Shackleton's leadership was marked by adaptability and charisma. He quickly shifted from explorer to provider as his men faced the brutal realities of life encased in ice. His ability to maintain morale amid the chaos became legendary. Shackleton's focus was not on the pole, but on survival, a mission deeply rooted in understanding the environment rather than conquering it. Both leaders embodied ambition, but while Scott saw the Antarctic as a battlefield, Shackleton viewed it as a partner to navigate. The choices they made, what they demanded of their teams, and how they engaged with nature had profound consequences. Underneath their quests lay a reflection of humanity's timeless struggle against greed and the desperation that comes from underestimating the power of the natural world. As we delve deeper into these harrowing tales of survival, one question lingers. In today's age of climate change and environmental degradation, what lessons can we draw from the legacies of Scott and Shackleton? Their journeys reveal not just the triumphs of human spirit, but also the dangers of ambition unchecked. What will the icy expanse reveal to those who dare to look? The legacy of these early Antarctic expeditions is vast and complex, weaving tales of human ambition and the stark realities of nature. The ambitions that fueled Scott and Shackleton also birthed a new era of scientific understanding. Their meticulous observations laid the groundwork for modern Antarctic research. They quantified data on glaciology, weather patterns, and the unique biological ecosystems that thrive beneath the ice. But there's a darker side to this legacy. The overexploitation of resources, seals, whales, and other marine life, occurred in the wake of these explorations. Early adventurers often viewed Antarctica as an untamed resource, ripe for the taking. Their relentless pursuit of glory often clouded their judgment, resulting in dire consequences for the environment. The lessons from those first exploratory missions echo loudly today. As scientists began to understand the fragility of the Antarctic ecosystem, it ignited debates about ethical exploration and sustainability. The shifting perception of Antarctica is striking. Once a canvas for conquest, it has transformed into a powerful symbol of environmental stewardship. The harsh realities faced by Scott and Shackleton turned into cautionary tales. Today, nations collaborate to protect this icy frontier under the Antarctic Treaty System, emphasizing preservation over exploitation. The treaty, signed in 1961, exemplifies global cooperation in the face of climate change. It prohibits military activity, mineral mining, and nuclear testing, marking a significant societal shift toward recognizing Antarctica as a global commons, a place to be safeguarded for future generations. Yet, the sacrifices of early explorers must not be forgotten. They ventured into the unknown, enduring unimaginable hardships. Their resolve highlighted the indomitable spirit of humanity, but also warned against underestimating nature's power. Awareness of these pioneers' struggles provides context for today's conversations about conservation and responsibility. The enduring question must be, how can we honor their legacy without following their destructive path? While we reflect upon the achievements and tragedies of Scott, Shackleton, and their contemporaries, we face a pivotal moment. As climate change accelerates, Antarctica is changing faster than ever, revealing secrets locked in its ice for millennia. Scientists race against time to study these shifts, understanding that what happens in Antarctica affects the entire planet. But what lies beneath the surface of the ice? What revelations could the melting glaciers hold? And how might they redefine our understanding of climate change? As the ice retreats, new discoveries beckon, whether they bring hope or challenge. Only time will tell. The lessons of the past and the quest for knowledge continue to clash. In honoring exploration, do we risk repeating the mistakes of history, or can we find a path that respects nature's limits while still seeking to understand it? Join us next time as we delve deeper into the secrets of the Antarctic, where the past and future collide in a world of ice.